All right, here with head softball coach Shannon Salsburg. And Shannon, just kind of take us through this past weekend.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it was a great weekend for us. We obviously went 4-1, and we found different ways to win games. We always talk about there's three things you need to do. You need to play defense, pitch, and have offensive production. You've got to have 2 out of 3 to win, and we really found a way to have fantastic defense and outstanding pitching this weekend, and that was really the difference in what we were able to do.
Go in depth a little bit more about the pitching. I mean, obviously, 2 freshman pitchers really pitching lights out for the entire weekend, really.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, both Jamie and Paris obviously still works in progress. I mean, they're freshmen, they're young, they're still learning how to throw at this level. A couple light bulbs went on this weekend in some different situations, which Monica, our pitching coach, has worked very hard on with the girls. And, they just did a great job of every time we got into any kind of jam, maybe a couple base hits in a row, they just shut it down. And from my standpoint, that's exciting that it's if you have solid D behind some kids who just have that mentality that they can take a step up and say, no, this isn't going to happen. They made a couple of big pitches when they needed to and got us out of innings.
How important is it, the fact that Paige Berger did not have the best weekend? And we talked about her in previous videos. I mean, how important she is to the offense here and how important she is to Bowling Green. How big is it knowing that you can pull off a 4-1 record coming out of a tournament when Paige isn't exactly hitting her best?
Sure. We talk about all the time. This is a team sport. And sure, there are certain kids that are focused on, when scouting reports go out. People know who Paige is, obviously. And she did still impact. They actually walked her a couple times intentionally in some big situations this weekend because with one swing of the bat, she can make a difference. However, is it fantastic to see kids like Shelby Fink have a great weekend? Absolutely. It was great to see her get going. She's a stick that we believe in and know that she can do great things for us. Katie Yoho continued to swing the bat the way she was able. Hannah did a great job at the top of the lineup of getting on and scoring runs like she always does. I mean, it was great team effort offensively. When Paige has a down weekend and we still win 4, that's a good day.
Give us a progress report on the freshmen. We mentioned the 2 pitchers earlier. You just mentioned Shelby Fink.
Right.
How is that class kind of moving along?
Yeah, they're really progressing. This weekend, Rachel Pearl was out for us, and so we actually had 2 freshmen on either side of Yoho in center field. And both Emily and Chloe did a great job defensively of catching balls. They made a couple diving plays. I mean, they just were outstanding for us defensively. Offensively, they're still in transition, which is to be expected. They are making progress, finding ways to get on, finding ways to help the team, whether it's move the runner with a sacrifice bunt. So, we're really excited about that class, really excited about their growth. They've had opportunities to get out there. You just never know when someone's going to go down. So it's nice that they're getting that experience now. It'll definitely help us in the MAC.
Speaking of that, leads me right into my next question. Tournament season's over.
Right. I can't believe it.
Thankfully. So how do you feel about that momentum? We talked about that at the very beginning of the season. Do you feel that you've built up enough momentum going into the non-tournament part of the schedule and eventually into MAC play?
I think what we have really built upon each week is learning who we are. I think we've figured out that we can win games when we're not hitting home runs. That's a big deal for us because early that's how we were winning games, is just putting over the fence. I think that overall the team has figured out, okay, this is how we're going to win games. These are the things we need to do. Advance runners, do the little things like sacrifice flies, things like that. Play solid defense, which in the beginning of the season was a little shaky, and we've really cleaned up. So I think we figured out who we are, and that's more important than the momentum off of these weekends, in my opinion. Last weekend, there were a couple games that could have gone either way if we had lost our focus and not believed. And I never once doubted that this team believed in themselves. And that's probably the most exciting thing that I could feel out of the team that past weekend. So are we ready to go? Yeah. The MAC is always wide open, though. And, as I've watched scores across the Mid-American Conference, one day somebody's knocking off Buffalo, just knocked off Baylor, a top 25 team, which is fantastic for our conference. There is no team that you can underestimate.
Give us a little bit of a mini scouting report on your next game. You
Sure.
have a doubleheader against IPFW coming up here.
Right.
What do we to expect?
IPFW, they're feisty. We got an opportunity to see them play in Auburn. We were supposed to play them and got almost snowed out in
freeze out.
Auburn. Yeah, it was a freeze out. But they believe in themselves a lot. They carry themselves as a quality team. They just have a certain demeanor on the field. They're going to come out swinging. They're not necessarily home run hitters, but they're going to put at bats together that are quality. They're going to make our defense work, make our pitchers work. Offensively, we need to be aggressive. Their pitcher goes right at you. So it's again a great opportunity to get ready for the MAC. Definitely MAC caliber team, and a team that we believe we can go and have two very competitive games. Obviously, we hope to end up on the winning side, but it's going to be a challenge. They are a very good team, and a team that if you just sit back 1 second, they're going to score 4 runs on you.
All right, well, Coach, best of luck. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sean.